10 days before tragedy struck, Diogo Jota, Liverpool and Portugal forward, and his 22-year-old wife, Ruth Cardoso, stood at the altar in Porto, a radiant bride and groom planning their future and welcoming wedding guests in a swirl of happiness. They had just celebrated their third child. Family photos, laughter, and dreams of a life built together, all under a sun-drenched sky. Late on July 2, 2025, at 12:30 a.m. near Cernadilla, Zamora, Spain, Diogo, 28, and his younger brother Andre Silva, 25, a footballer at Penafiel, were driving north across the A52 in a rented Lamborghini Huracan SUV, heading to catch a ferry from Santander to Liverpool. Diogo had recently undergone lung surgery, and doctors advised him to avoid flying. They were overtaking another vehicle at high speed when suddenly a tire blew. According to the Spanish Civil Guard, the Huracan veered off-road at kilometer 65.300, crashed into a ditch, and burst into flames. Emergency responders arrived within minutes and found both brothers dead at the scene. The blazing wreckage ignited nearby vegetation, drawing fire crews from local villages. No one could be pulled from the inferno. Charred remains were all that remained. Identification came from their documents, no loved ones present. The next morning, news spread globally. Diogo Jota, Premier League champion, Portugal star, husband, father of 3, was gone. Mourning poured out. A minute's silence at Wimbledon. Trophies donned black ribbons at Bayern Munich and Liverpool. Cristiano Ronaldo posted, "It doesn't make sense. You'd only just got married." Gondomar, Portugal, the brothers' hometown, filled with mourners. Their funeral and wake, attended by Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa and Jorge Mendes, their agent. Hundreds lined the streets of Porto. Tributes also sprang up outside Anfield. Flowers, scarves, and heartfelt messages from fans, teammates, and opponents. Spanish authorities confirmed. Tire blowout caused loss of control during overtaking. No other vehicles involved. High speed likely exacerbated the crash. Both brothers died instantly. Vehicle ignited immediately. Still, questions hovered. Recent lung surgery led Diogo to avoid flying. Drivers found the A52 stretch near Cernadilla, infamous for sharp bends and a history of accidents. Investigators kept open the possibility of speeding contributing to the tear and the crash. On July 4th, a public wake at Anfield saw waves of grief. Jordan Henderson, Mohamed Salah, and Darwin Núñez visibly shaken. Fans sang, "You'll never walk alone." Liverpool FC released a statement calling it an unimaginable loss, asking for privacy and promising support. Wimbledon allowed players to wear black armbands, a move breaking a 148-year rule, adding to the sense of collective heartbreak. Even with initial findings, key questions remained. Was speeding a factor in the tire blowout? Could road conditions, deep potholes, or debris have played a role? Why no memory of near miss? The crash happened amid an overtaking maneuver. Could someone have pushed limits? Was the car regularly serviced after Diogo's surgery? The Spanish Civil Guard completed forensic tests, but sought more data before final conclusions. Diogo's wife Ruth Cardoso was left widowed with 3 children and just over a week into marriage. Liverpool announced they wouldn't reassign his jersey number 20, an emotional symbol of respect. The football and motorsport worlds called for safety reforms around high-performance car use, especially for public figures, urging tire checks and speed limit compliance. In the silent wreckage off the A52 and the grieving streets of Porto, one truth remains. Was this a tragic accident or a shock of caution gone wrong? Despite official reports, no definitive speed and condition analysis has been released. No independent audit of the Lamborghini's maintenance logs has been made public. Could there be more to the crash than meets the eye? Was a hidden flaw overlooked or someone pushing boundaries too far? The crash site lay under a silent night sky. Jagged metal and scorched earth marked the spot where the Lamborghini Huracan SUV hit the ditch, ignited, and exploded. Rescue teams later lifted pieces of scorched alloy from the crash, roof supports mangled, airbags melted. Smoke still curled from the wreck, refusing to settle. Investigators took photos. The tire tread worn down to the steel belts. The blowout likely happened mid-overtake. But why didn't the run-flat tires maintain stability? Spanish Civil Guard called in Tomas Herrera, a forensic tire expert. In a dim garage, he examined the shredded tire fragments. Signs of irregular wear on the inner shoulder, suggesting misalignment or underinflation. Micro cracks hidden beneath the grooves, evidence of heat stress. No cut marks, no indication of road debris puncture. His verdict? A failing tire, but not a sudden slice. Pressure may have been 5 psi low, but was that enough to spur an explosion at speed? Kilometer 65.3 on the A52 wasn't random. Local residents pointed to 2 years' worth of near misses. Potholes filled with black tar, absent rumble strips, no warning signs. The curve had claimed minor crashes before. A concerned taxi driver said, "You dodge holes every trip. At night it's a trap." Witnesses also claimed that loved maintenance was inconsistent, especially on that rainy stretch, where resurfacing patches peeled away under heavy use. Telemetry from local speed cameras prior to the crash zone showed a Lamborghini registered at 180 kilometers per hour, far above the 120 kilometers per hour limit. While timestamps were rough, the pace fits the profile of a high-stakes overtake. Whether Diogo or Andre was driving at that moment, experts argued. A blowout at that speed becomes uncontrollable. Still, no official data confirmed speed. The memory card from the GPS unit was destroyed in the fire. The rental documents for the Huracan were surprisingly thin. No signed maintenance logs. Missing sticker confirming final inspection date. No GPS rental addendum, meaning investigators had no data on route, speed, or stops. The car's onboard infotainment data was wiped clean, either by the fire or via a remote reset. Investigators suspect remote data wipe initiatives, a feature in high-end supercars. An elderly shepherd claimed he heard the engines roaring past midnight, long before the accident. He told officers it sounded like it was chasing something, then it stopped, then the boom. But he'd only heard it once. Other locals reported nothing. The area sees silence after 1 a.m. The absence disappears into speculation. Was the car speeding or evading? Was this just a tragic tire burst at high speed on a dangerous road? Or did a flaw in the Lamborghini's maintenance and remote systems hide the truth? One lingering mystery. Why was the infotainment and GPS data wiped? A feature or a cover-up? After days of thorough investigation, the Spanish Civil Guard issued their final report. The Lamborghini Huracan SUV suffered a tire blowout while overtaking, causing the vehicle to veer off the A52, crash into a ditch, and burst into flames. No other vehicles were involved, and both Diogo Jota, 28, and his brother Andre Silva, 25, were found dead at the scene. Investigators noted high speed on the overtaking maneuver, though precise velocity remains undetermined due to the destroyed GPS unit. Video evidence and skid mark analysis suggests speeds likely exceeded the 120 kilometers per hour limit. The dangerous curve at kilometer 65.3, photographed by locals as poorly maintained, contributed to the loss of control. A dashcam clip showed the Huracan drifting into the bend at approximately 160 kilometers per hour moments before impact. Notably, Diogo had expressed concern about tire pressure just days before, joking with his wife Ruth about avoiding disaster. A comment now hauntingly prophetic. Experts found no debris puncturing the tires, pointing toward severe heat stress and misalignment or underinflation. Deep microcracks on the inner tire surface suggest gradual degradation rather than sudden damage. At those high speeds, even a worn tire can catastrophically fail. Investigators are also reviewing the Lamborghini's pyrotechnic door ejection system, designed for rapid escape during rollovers. While its malfunction did not cause the crash, its status at impact could have affected rescue efforts. It remains unclear whether the doors activated properly or hindered emergency response. The official conclusion: this was a tragic accident, not an act of malice. Still, questions linger. Why was the car missing inspection records? Why did remote resets erase GPS and telematics? And why was a risky overtaking maneuver attempted so soon after Diogo's lung surgery, but with a car that may have had undiagnosed mechanical issues? These questions point to systemic failures in high-performance vehicle use, particularly regarding maintenance transparency and donor reliance on digital systems. The emotional toll was vast. In Porto, thousands attended the funeral, including Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa. Across continents, from Anfield Stadium to Wimbledon courts, tributes were paid. Clubs implemented safety campaigns around supercar travel, and discussions began about regulating tire standards, road maintenance, and remote vehicle controls in performance cars. Final reflection. Hope from tragedy. What happened? A tire blowout at high speed on a dangerous bend. Why? Likely due to poor road conditions, high velocity, and unknown vehicle maintenance gaps. What now? Global reckoning about safety standards for athletes and the public alike, plus potential industry reforms. In the wreckage lay more than metal. It held warning signs, clues we didn't catch earlier. As Lamborghini opens an internal review and Spanish authorities examine other high-performance crash cases, one question haunts every engine roar. Will this tragedy finally change how we drive, inspect, and trust powerful machines? Or was it just the start of more lessons scorched into asphalt? The road ahead may hold answers or deepen the mystery. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Diogo Jota's story isn't over. It's just beginning.